the old China.
I'll do a quick sound check to check that people can hear us, because it's always nice if we can be heard. Unless we're like Alan, seen and not heard.
To be fair, when it comes to Alan, it's probably better if not seen and not heard, to be honest.
It's true.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time of day it is you're listening to us. Aren't you lucky you've got us twice in 2 days? As we're going to watch along to tonight's premiership encounter between Ipswich and Birmingham. And yeah, things could get a bit spicy in the commentary this evening. So I'm joined by Brummy superfan himself, Mr. Dylan
Not
Hodgins.
quite. Not quite.
And it's with regret to inform you, we've got Alan as well giving us updates from Sheffield. Good evening, gentlemen.
I do.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, Alan's trained well today.
Yeah, he has.
We've come on a little bit later. We wanted to do the coin toss, so should we very quickly run through the two teams, Palmer? If you want to do the visitors,
Oh,
I'll do the hosts.
go on then.
You can go first.
So for the Birmingham Brummies, number one is Tobias Musak. At number two, Jonas Jeppison. At number three, their guest of Bob, or effectively known as Daniel Hume. Number four, Keenan Rue. Number five, Michael Jepsen Jensen. Number six, Antti Vulas. And at number seven, Jason Edwards.
Who's your man to watch for the Brummies?
As you can probably see on your telly box. My man to watch tonight, I've gone for Michael Jepsen Jensen. He is statistically, because he won some meetings a couple of weekends ago, he is the best rider in Polish Speedway now. And he needs to bring that form over here. And to be fair, he would make a very big statement if tonight was that night he brought that form to the UK.
I'm going to go for Keenan Rue, obviously a former witch up until this season. Knows Foxhall very well. You always want to prove a point as well against your former employer, don't you? So yeah, I'm going to go with him. And for the hosts for Ipswich, Jason Dole leads the side at number one. It's Danny King at 2, Adam Ellis at 3, Tom Brennan at 4, Emil Sarvudinov at 5, Dan Thompson 6, and the rising star at number 7, Jordan Jenkins. Palmer, your Ipswich man to watch.
So my home rider to watch tonight will be Danny King. I think he's started the season on fire for Ipswich. His last time out at Ipswich, he got himself a flawless maximum. It's been apparently it's been about 10 years since Danny King last had a maximum in the top league, and he's just very good in the Premiership this season.
I'm going to go for Dan Thompson. He's having a brilliant season, and he had a good season last season. We thought maybe he'd peaked. He's not. He's gone another level. He's flying, and he was the difference maker along with Jordan Jenkins in the reverse fixture a couple of weeks ago at Perry Bar. We've also got Alan with us to run us through the Sheffield and Oxford lineups, and also give his men to watch for that one and this one. Out.
Hello. So you want a men to watch for that one first, or the lineups?
If you want.
Okay. So my Brummies man to watch, I've gone for Daniel Hume. He's had a few stints here at Ipswich. Hopefully, be able to bring the knowledge of the Ipswich track with him tonight and be able to move a point here tonight. And for Ipswich, I've gone for Tom Brennan. He's had a cracking start to the season, and hopefully, he'll be looking to get one over on his former employers of last season. So, looking at the Sheffield and Oxford teams, starting with the home side, the Sheffield Tigers. At number 1, it's Jack Holder on an 8.85 average. At number 2, it's Anders Rowe on a 5.21. And number 3, it's Chris Holder on an 8.79. And number 4 is Justin Sedgman on a 4.79. And number 5 is Josh Pickering on a 6.74. And number 6 is Lewis Kerr on a 4.77. And the rising star, Leon Flint. For the Oxford Spires, at number 1 is Rowan Tungate on a 7.71. And number 2 is Eris on a 5.55. At number 3 is Charles Wright on a 6.32. At number 4 is Peter Kildemand on a 6. At number 5 is Matt Janowski on a 7.02. And at number 6 is Francis Gus on a 4.50. And the rising star is Luke Colleen. So, my Sheffield man to watch, I've gone for Louis Kerr. Just recently joined the side. He has had a stint, I think, before with Sheffield. And he's had some good form for Poole at the start of the season. So hopefully he'll be able to bring that form into the Sheffield reserve berth and could be vital in their push to beat Oxford. And for Oxford, I've gone for Charles Wright. Again, obviously he's been in good form as well this season. And if he can put the points on the board like he has been, both in the Premiership and Championship, then I'm sure he will be very useful in their side. Back to you, boys.
And we'll bring Alan back in at some points through the night to bring updates to that one. We're just getting the Riders Parade at Ipswich. This meeting can be purchased to watch through BSN for I think $13.99.
Yeah, I believe it is $13.99 for BSN.
Should we do a quick score prediction while we're here for both the
No.
meetings we're doing tonight? We'll start with this one, Palmer. Score prediction.
I can't see Birmingham stopping Ipswich hitting 60 plus. I'll go 61-29.
You reckon?
I've sobered
Birmingham
up since this morning.
You reckon Birmingham are going to score more points than Bellevue and Oxford have both managed here?
Well, Oxford are a bit crap. Bellevue was a bit crap.
I don't think anybody's beating that Bellevue score with how low it was, to be honest with you. That could be famous last words, but...
Let's be honest, you're virtually granted 15 points before you start. If you're already scoring 8 extra points, there's something seriously wrong.
100%, yeah. I'm going to go for 60-30 to Ipswich. I think Birmingham do beat 30 just about. I think it's going to be tough. But as we know, luck and all of that stuff can balance things out. I just don't think Birmingham are going to get 30 points worth of luck. So yeah, I'm going to go 60-30. Al, you got a prediction for this one, pal?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. I'm going to go 55-35.
Are you drunk?
No, I like to be the optimistic man, and I want to give Birmingham a fair chance.
It's about as drunk as what I was earlier.
I'm going to go 55-35.
And do we have score predictions for Sheffield and Oxford as well? Palmer, Al, you can go first on that one.
Sheffield and Oxford. I'm going to go... Do you know what? I'm going to go 60-30 to Sheffield.
Palmer?
65-25 to Sheffield. Oxford is shit.
I'm going to agree with Alan. 60-30 to Sheffield. If you're in the comments, Palmer, how does the normal saying go?
Get your said in the comments and give us something to talk about.
Right, I'm going to put the
number 1 here at Vauxhall getting under.
Shut up. There we go.
No, you didn't hear any of that on YouTube. You heard nothing of that.
I had to refresh the stream. Which Ian Sabin is in the comments. I'm going 45 all. Which one's that for? This meeting or the Sheffield and Oxford one? Because if it's this meeting, that's more than Alan's level of optimism, and Alan's drunk. Alan's been to the gym, so he could be on his way to death's door. Who knows? And normal rolls tonight, eh, Palmer? Normal watch-along service, me doing the heat lineups and results, and you talking us through the action. Alan will be in through the meeting to give us updates from Sheffield and see if Oxford managed to reach that 25 points as Palmer's predicted.
I think if they get the 25 points, they've done very, very well.
It is a shame.
And a pat on the back.
Ian said that he's going 45 all for this meeting. I wish I was that optimistic, but having seen what Ipswich have done to opposition that have come to Vauxhall this year so far, 67-23 and 65-25 was the other one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I'd be happy. I'd take a 60-30 loss. It means we'll have got more points than Bellevue and Oxford got here. It's amazing Oxford are so poor in most people's eyes, yet they still managed to score more points here than Bellevue. I've heard an interesting rumour actually that Mark Lemon was blaming dodgy methanol for that. He does love an excuse, doesn't he, old Mr. Schnoz?
Well, considering all the riders will buy the same methanol from the same track man, that's some excuse to have.
He does like an excuse, does old Lemon. It'll be an interesting one at Sheffield as well. See how the new signings bed in. But I am looking forward to seeing Ipswich ride. I mean, I wish it was against someone other than Birmingham because I get the feeling this is going to be an absolute tonking. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried. There's the same banner as last night actually. Were these fans at Poole or is this a BSN banner?
Yeah, them fans are at Poole. Al, just before we start for 8-1, do you want to give us an update from Sheffield if you look at the BSN updates?
Yes, I'm looking, and there's been 2 heats at Sheffield, with the score is currently 10 points to 2. Jack Holden and Underdog taking a 5-1 over Rowan Tungate and Eric Rist in Heat 1, and Leon Flint won Heat 2 with Lewis Kerr in 2nd, and Francis Goose in 3rd.
Rowan Tungate is by far, absolutely no doubt about it, the worst number 1 in the British Premiership.
Justice for Ben Cook.
We watched him on Monday, didn't we, Palmer? And he was awful then as well.
Rowan Tungate, awful rider, awful human being. Don't know why anybody touches him without.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And I wish this Leon Flint had turned up for Birmingham last year. He's really got his SH1T together this year, hasn't he?
Certainly has, Premiership-wise.
Yeah, he ain't been overly great in the Championship from the bits of Glasgow that I have seen, to be honest. But he's certainly.
But it is only Glasgow, so nobody likes Glasgow, do they?
It's true. The toss was done in the pits as well, which Tobias Michalek won for Birmingham, and he opted to take gates 1 and 3 in Heat 1. So at least Birmingham have won something tonight.
Always look at the bright side and all that.
Little victories in this life. Little victories. I really like Jonas Jeppson's helmet. It's very colourful.
Maybe he might be supporting this Pride Month thing. Who knows?
It looks ginger on the top though. He almost looks a bit like Anders Rowe or Brady Kurtz. Very, very funky. Looks like a WrestleMania inspired attire rather than a racing helmet.
Well, maybe it is. Jonas Jefferson bringing WrestleMania into Speedway.
Give the people what they want. And it'll be interesting to see how this meeting starts. Birmingham really need to start well, but Danny King's been in sublime form, and although he's not been in the best of form, I'd expect Jason Doyle to do well here as well, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
He's just one good meeting away from fully clicking again, and he started well last week at Leicester when we watched him, and he went a bit to to SH1T towards the end. Alan's dead, Alan's alive.
Yeah, 100%. And Doyle is going to want to really, really going to need to start, or at least hoping that it all clicks very, very soon because GP's start next week.
They do, yeah. They're very close. And an interesting tidbit for this one, Jonas Jeppesen used to ride for Ipswich back in 2018.
18, I believe it was, yeah.
So obviously the track's changed since then. They always try and make little improvements, as Danny King spoke about earlier on the track walk. But the rough track is still the same, and you always want to get one over your former employer. So the lineup for heat number 1, riding off the inside gate in yellow for the Brummies, Jonas Jeppesen. Gate 2 in blue for Ipswich, Danny King. Gate 3 in white for the Brummies is Tobias Mischlek. And off the outside in red for the Witches, Jason Doyle.
Well, big heat number 1.
Start marshal telling the riders where the green light is. A lot of start marshals do that now, don't they? They'll point it out, especially to the visitors.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you've had any alterations to where it may be, then you do need to sort of inform your opposition as to where it is.
Am I right in thinking they do that at Scunner?
No, it's Scunny. The riders have to do like the little wavy thing.
Oh, okay. Some tracks start marshals will do it religiously for the first ride for each rider. Certainly the visitors, some tracks, they don't. It's not a rule or anything, just some do it and some don't.
Some do, some don't. At the start, Marshal Pete walks away then for heat number 1, takes right away to go. A little bit of a nibble there from the rider in blue there, I thought, Danny King. And as they go down the back straight, the ref seems to disagree because the race has not been stopped, and it's Danny King that has the lead, with Jason Doyle making a sweep move there at the inside of Jonas Jeppesen to get the Witches onto a 5-1. Doyle going really out of shape there on bends 2, and Jepsen's back up the inside, the neck and neck as they go into bends 3 and 4. Doyle is just about got a little lead now. Tobias Muser, like an absolute embarrassment at the back. A rider of his quality should not be towards the back of the field. But yeah, it's all plain sailing at the minute for Ipswich, barring any form of mechanical failures. They're going to start the this meeting with a big 5-1, and it's been a season-long thing so far. How long does Tobias Muser keep taking the piss out of Birmingham? But that is a big 5-1 for Ipswich to start with.
Yeah, that's not ideal when your number one's that far at the back. Credit to Jonas Jeppesen for putting a fight up. He made a decent gate. It was a messy start in total. Doyle had a little nibble. I think Toby had a little nibble as well. They were the two I was looking at. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that start again. But yeah, not a great start for Birmingham. The result of Heat 1 was a win for the rider in blue, Danny King. Second in red, Jason Doyle. And third in yellow, Jonas Jeppesen. 5-1 to Ipswich makes the progressive scores 5-1.
But it was.
And that kind of sets the tone for your night, doesn't it? This angle ain't going to give us anything. Yeah, Danny King did have a nibble.
He had a nibble.
Doyle had a nibble. Toby had a nibble. I think Jeppesen was the only one who stayed still. Brummies were on a 3-all after the first bend.
Funny races we've done from the tapes to the first bend.
It'd be like Alan on STS, like we said last night. He'd be a world champion.
Be like me on SC.
Yeah. Riders are now coming out for Heat 2, Battle of the Reserves. I won't lie, Ipswich looked very strong in this position, and I think last year actually Birmingham had Antivulas guest in here. It was in the main body, but I think he failed to score. So let's hope he does a little bit better than that tonight.
I think you're right, but to be honest, this Ipswich reserve pair is going to be very hard to beat no matter who you are.
100%.
I mean, it's probably fair to say they're the best reserves in the league.
Line up for Heat number 2, going off the inside gate in red for Ipswich, Dan Thompson. Gate 2 in white for the Brummies is Antivulas. Gate 3 in blue is the rising star for Ipswich, Jordan Jenkins. And off the outside in yellow, the Birmingham Rising Star, Jason Edwards. We both get on really well with Jace. I think it's fair to say we've both said already he's not started the season particularly well. He hasn't looked particularly great in the Championship for the couple of meetings he's done for Redcar yet either.
No, and I mean it's Scunthorpe other than his last ride, which I think he won. He wasn't the Jason Edwards that we know. But maybe now the Championship's starting to pick up and he's getting some more meetings, and so it might be a blessing.
You may be right. Is Alan still with us? Do you know? I heard him click off again. I don't know if he's come back.
His camera's off and he's muted himself, so
No,
I would
basically.
imagine my ray of sunshine's gone to give him a telling off. The start marshal walks away for route number 2, Tapes Rise away. We go to fairly even start there, but it's the two Ipswich boys once again that get to that first corner first, and well, other than a little challenge there from the rider in yellow, Jason Edwards, the two Ipswich boys have pulled ahead, and the I'm going to sound disrespectful here, but Anti-Viewlas looks like an absolute complete
Anti-Viewlas is awful. He needs to go. He needs replacing. It's as simple as that.
And to be honest, Jason Edwards doesn't look much better. But Viewlas looks very, very slow at the back, to be honest, more than anything. But these two Ipswich boys, these know the track inside out. They've been here a couple of years now, been up and down in the main body of the team and at reserve. And yeah, not a good start for the Midlands-based club, as the Witch is about to do what Sheffield did after 2 weeks and take another 5-1.
Yeah, Anti-Viewlas is awful. I stand by that statement. I said it before tonight. He's not been impressive at all this year. He shouldn't be running last places against anybody, really. Did okay for Bellevue when he went in, but this isn't good enough. It's that simple.
Certainly not ideal.
The result of heat number 2 was a win for the rider in blue, the rising star for the Witches, Jordan Jenkins, second in red, Dan Thompson, and third in yellow, Jason Edwards. Another 5-1 to Ipswich, and it's 10 points to 2 after 2 heats.
Has it already started to feel like a long night?
I mean, if this is the meeting that means that certain riders get replaced, then I'll take a tonking all night long, because certain riders are underperforming week after week after week, and they're being allowed to. Viewlas made a decent start. That was about as close as he got.
Yeah, to be fair, it was a fairly even start. You know, Jason had a good start. As soon as Dan and Jordan hit that first turn, that was it.
Yeah, Jason's not been particularly great, but then I'd argue, is there any rising stars on the list currently without a club that are better? Now Gilks has gone to Leicester, I'd argue there's not, to be honest.
But then again, it's like, who do you potentially look at bringing in as replacements? Because there's not a great deal of options abroad, so do you look into the Championship and see what's available?
So the lineup for heat number 3 going off the inside gate in white for the Brummies, the guest Daniel Hume, gate 2 in blue Tom Brennan, gate 3 in yellow is Keenan Rue, and off the outside in red it's Palmer's pal Mr Adam Ellis.
Big up my pal Adam Ellis. He's crap, but he'd be pal, so big up Adam.
And you've got to have friends, especially around Speedway, because there ain't a lot of people you can really trust, is there?
No, sometimes you can't even trust yourself, sometimes.
Hopefully the man we affectionately know as Bob has a decent meeting. Unfortunate to be released by Sheffield earlier this week, numbers game. And he has invested quite heavily in his Speedway this year. I don't expect him to do a lot at number 3, I'll be honest, but you know, credit to him for taking what seems like an almost impossible guest booking just to get some bike time.
Get some back. I'd imagine he'll get a couple of quid regardless of whether he scores or not. But the tapes do rise in a way. We've got some very good start for his side from Daniel Hume there. Adam Ellis looking. That's not Adam Ellis. That's Tom Brennan. Tom Brennan goes around the outside. Adam Ellis up the inside, and well, I think this is virtually all she wrote. Keenan Rue for saying he's been.
Oh, Adam Ellis is trying to
Oh!
stack it.
Keenan Rue for saying he's been here a home rider for the last 2 years. You wouldn't have absolutely thought it. He's well, currently, I don't know. Yeah, he's still being beaten by Daniel Hume. So yeah, this is a great viewing if you're a Birmingham supporter.
This ain't great viewing
Um,
if you're a neutral. There's no racing.
I mean, as an Ipswich supporter, this isn't the best of viewings. The score's nice, but the spectacle isn't the best of viewings.
And Bob finished third.
And
That's 1 point more than I think anyone expected him to get, so fair play. Honestly, this could be a 75-15.
there's every chance we've started the right way.
This could be a 75-15. Birmingham don't even look close. The result of Heat 3 was a win for the rider in blue, Tom Brennan, second in red, Adam Ellis, and third in white, Daniel Hume. Birmingham made the gate then, gated on a 4-2. By the end of the first lap, 5-1 to Ipswich.
Yeah, that was the first bit of passing we've had all meeting. Back straight, lap one. That was it.
I genuinely fear this is going to be a 75-15. Bob made a beautiful gate off one.
That was a cracking gate from Hume there. Brilliant gate.
Put himself a little bit in our favourite holiday destination, didn't he? And the Ipswich boys just went either side of him.
Scarborough's nowhere near Ipswich mush.
I was talking about no man's land.
Oh, there. Yeah, it's cracking holiday place. If you've ever got the chance to go there, by all means, go. It's great.
Here's your man to watch, as is statistically proven at the moment, the best rider in Poland after he won that meeting, passing some very good riders actually.
Yeah, he won the Polish League Riders Championship, beating his opposite number 5, Emil Saifutinov, and just a little thing of beating Bartek as well.
And he had a good meeting last night in Denmark as well.
I'll take your word for that because I haven't really looked at anything from Denmark.
Sure, he got easily inside paid double figures. He put in his racing page this morning, so he was definitely in there. He had a good meeting at Leicester when we last watched Birmingham a few weeks back, on the road anyway.
He did.
Hopefully he can do the same here. It's not through lack of effort, I think it's fair to say. So the lineup of heat number 4 going off the inside gate in yellow for the Brummies, Jason Edwards. Gate 2 in blue, Jordan Jenkins. Gate 3 in white is Michael Jensen. And off the outside in red, Emil Saifutinov. Really close to calling him Michael Palmtoft then. Oh dear. I mean, they're both Danish. Both called Michael and got double barrel surnames.
And they've both ridden for Birmingham in their current Premiership era.
And yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
It's the same person, isn't it?
They're both quite small fellas.
Michael Jensen's wage. First start Marshall. Again called Pete. Walks away through heat number 4. The tapes rise. Away we go. That was a beautiful start there for MJJ.
And he's 5-1.
And the two Birmingham boys are on the wrong end of a 5-1 here at the moment. It's very rare to see Emil Saifutinov struggle towards the rear of the field. Jordan Jenkins there now in the second position after just getting round Jason Edwards. And this is certainly going to spoil the 5-1 party here. But Michael Jensen with a brilliant gate. Emil's looking to come round the outside now of Jason Edwards, and Jason's holding the right line here. It's not very often we see Emil struggle like this, especially around Foxhall. Emil's gone up to the inside, and has he passed? I don't know. He hasn't. Michael Jensen is 1,001 miles ahead, and we've got one left to go. And it looks like Jordan's trying to slow Jason Edwards down to allow Emil to come through, but a brilliant ride here out front from Michael Jensen, and the Brummies are going to take their first heat advantage of the afternoon.
That was what you'd call a frustrating ride for Emil. Jordan looked over his shoulder, did everything he could to slow Miley Jace down there, and just couldn't. As you say, Emil, it's not very often he's on the wrong end of at the wrong end of a heat, really. So the result of heat number 4 was a win for the rider in white, Michael Jepsen Jensen, second in blue, Jordan Jenkins, and third in yellow, Jason Edwards. Emil Savinov out the back. 2 points to Ipswich, 4 to Birmingham, makes it 17 points to 7 after 4 heats. Beautiful gate from Jepsen Jensen. Absolutely
That
nailed
was
that.
lovely.
And Jace made it as well. Birmingham trapped on a 5-1.
They did. And, well,
Yep.
our pal Emil certainly, he went to the holiday place again,
He's had a tough day of it today, hasn't he? Poor Emil.
He has. He's just recently had a bit of a dip in form.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's had a crash or anything, but yeah, he's.
That was what you'd definitely call a frustrating ride. He tried inside, outside. JJ tried slowing Jace up. Jace just rode a very good defensive line there. And that bodes the question, how were you beating one of the best riders in the world? But I know the Ipswich reserves are fantastic, but how were you losing to riders around about the same calibre and then beating one of the best in the world?
It begs the question, doesn't it? But yeah, it's certainly something.
Ian says the promoters at Birmingham should be looking to get rid of riders now. This is appalling show. I'd be interested to know what MJJ's winning time was there, because it looked quick. It looked very quick.
Tell you what, I'll have a look, see if they've put it up on my source.
And while we've got a track grade, Al, have you got anything from Sheffield for us?
Have I got anything from Sheffield? Well, give me just 2 little seconds. Oh, when I last left you, we had 2 heats at Sheffield with a score at 10 points to 2. Oxford have made a slight bit of an improvement. The last 3 heats have all been 3-all. So the current score at the moment is Sheffield 19, Oxford 11. A heat winner in heat 3 from Charles Wright, and Josh Pickering won heat 4, with Chris Holder winning heat number 5.
Do you want to give us a quick run through the scorers from there, what we've got at the minute as well, because we've just got an interview with MJ.
Yeah. So Jack Holder 3 points from 1 ride, Anders Rowe 2+1 from 1, Chris Holder 4+1 from 2, Justin Sedgman 2 from 1, Josh Pickering 3 from 1, Lewis Kerr 2+1 from 1, and Leon Flint 3 from 2. For Oxford, Rowan Tungate 3 from 2, Eric Riss 1+1 from 2, Charles Wright 3 from 1, Peter Kilderman failed to score from 1, Andrzej Janowski 1+1 from 1, Francis Gus 1 from 1, and Luke Colleen 2 from 2.
And we'll bring Alan back in at some point a little bit later on. Riders are getting ready to come out for Heat 5. They've got that fancy bunting stuff. Parma, what you got for us?
So you inquired about Michael Jepsen Jensen's winning time in heat number 4. It was the joint second quickest time of the day. Tom Brennan in heat 3 was quicker. Tom Brennan getting 58 exactly. Michael Jepsen Jensen and Danny King both going round in 58.1.
Not bad. Jason Harold's doing a bit of talking now. An interesting meeting going on at Sheffield as well. Parma 19 to 11, I think Al said that was. So an intriguing one.
I mean, I've just looked and I've got 22.14. Oh, I'm not having this.
Al, are you using British Speedway Network's updates rather than Speedway updates?
No, British Speedway Network has just updated. There's been another.
I'm not having this. I am not having this. You tell him Heat 6 result. We'll know why we're not having this.
With the win for Magic Janowski, with Jack Holder in second and Anders Rowe in third. Another 3-all makes the score 22 to Sheffield, 14 to Oxford after 6 heats.
Oh.
I can't believe Magic Janowski's won a race.
I can. He's having an okay season, to be honest. He'll be number 1 by the May averages, because Rowan Tungate's been crap.
Nah. Francis
Although
Gus.
Charles Wright could be there or thereabouts. He's been fantastic so far this season, and that's painful to say because he's a bit of an idiot, but he has had a very good season. Riders are out for heat 5. So the lineup going off the inside gate in red for the Witches is Adam Ellis. Jonas Jeppsson goes off gate 2 in yellow. Gate 3 in blue is Tom Brennan, and off the outside in white Tobias Muslek. This is the time for the Birmingham captain and number 1 to stand up. He's just saw Michael Jepsen Jensen go out and win a race. Now it's time for Toby to start stepping up.
And Birmingham are off the favoured gates in this one.
And Jepsen's been gating quite well all season, to be honest. He made a decent one in the first race. So hopefully he will have learned from that one, and he can maybe split the Witches if worst comes to worst.
But it's one of them. You would expect no disrespect to Adam here, I love you, pal, but Adam is the weak link in the team, so you'd expect a couple of points here, minimum, really.
Expectation versus reality, eh?
So at the start, Marshall walks away for heat number 5. The tapes right away. We got a very good start for the Ipswich guys there on a 5-1 currently as Tobias Muslek looks to go up the round. Not even up a round, he just wants to go through
He's
the middle.
off.
Where the bloody hell's he going?
Get this man out of Birmingham.
There you hear it, Nigel Tolley, if you're listening. And
Has he cleared the track?
I think he's cleared the track. He's cleared the track. The race is
fucking muppet.
The race hasn't been stopped. We do apologise for any language that you may have found offensive there. But yeah, the Witch is on another 5-1, and yeah.
This number 1 of Birmingham's is an embarrassment.
Yeah, it's not great for Birmingham as Ipswich extend that lead.
Why did he not stay down and give Jonas Jeppsen another chance from the tapes?
Who knows?
That was as easy as you like for Ipswich. There was no challenge. The result of V5 was a win for the rider in blue, Tom Brennan, second in red Adam Ellis, and third in yellow Jonas Jeppsen. 5-1 to Ipswich, 22 points to 8 is now the progressive score.
It is. Ouch.
These are making Adam Ellis look like Bartosz Marslik here.
He is. He's a French-English Bartosz Marslik around Ipswich. Everywhere else is a bit crap, but around Ipswich. Now, I got told earlier that I was drunk when I said there's every chance Ipswich could hit 70 tonight.
No, I still think you're drunk.
Which I was. I've only had one bottle of Magic all day.
Shocking.
And I only had that because it was in my nan's cupboard.
While she was out shopping?
Yes.
Why did he not stay down?
Who knows?
Oh,
Other than Tobias Muslek, who knows?
And the rider's now coming round for number 6. Time for your mate and mine, Antivirus.
The antivirus himself.
Against
Don't worry though. MJJ's out, so have a little bit of faith. You might be on 10 points at the end of this one.
Never know. Line up of heat number 6 going off the inside gate in white. Michael Jepsen Jensen. Gate 2 in red is Jason Doyle. Gate 3 in yellow, Antivulas. And off the outside in blue, Danny King. With all due respect to Antivulas, if he couldn't beat Jordan Jenkins or Dan Thompson, he's got no hope of beating Jason Doyle or Danny King.
Well, he's got Bob Hope, hasn't he? And that's the only hope he's got.
Bob's not out in this one.
But Michael Jepsen Jensen looked very impressive in heat number 1. In heat number 4, sorry. But
his first race.
So did Danny King and Jason Doyle.
MJJ did it from the gate, as did Danny King in heat 1. Jason Doyle had to do a little bit of that passing stuff to come through, didn't he?
He did.
There's one thing you're always guaranteed though with Adam Ellis or Jason Doyle in particular. There's a very good chance one or both of them will go through the tapes, or touch the tapes, or move at the start.
They like to have a nibble every now and then. So Heaton with 6 start. Marshall has walked away. There's a very even start there, but Jepson Jensen's the one that's got there with Doyley there in the second position.
Doyley's off! Doyley will go for that. 100% he'll go for that.
Yeah, 100%. Just as you were saying. But yeah, that was horrible, and
hopefully he's all right. That was a big crash.
Hopefully Doyle will be up and okay.
He
never seems to have any luck, does he? Does Doyley?
He violently grabbed some grip in that second turn, didn't he? And yeah, hopefully he's alright, because that was a nasty one. MJJ had made a beautiful start again. But obviously we hopefully that Doyle is alright first and foremost. So he's a divisive fella, but he's always been sound with me. I've never had an issue with him.
He's like Marmite, you either love him or hate him.
A lot of people don't like him, but if it's that age-old rule, isn't it? If they're sound with you, you know, you're sound with them. If they've given you no reason to dislike them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like there's many people out there that are like over the top supporting him. You know, not like a certain James Jessup with Brady Kurtz.
Or one of your pals with a Mr. Frick.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Ipswich boys are off over to see if Doyley's alright. This is worrying that he's still down.
I mean,
Doyley's... Is he under the fence? He's sat against the fence. And
Doyley's getting on a bit now as well.
I'd assume he's just catching his breath. I don't think this will be anything to let him get his bike in. He'll be excluded for that. He went on his own, and it was in the second turn as 100%. Well. So you can't even blame Bunching for that for me. And referee for this one is Craig Ackroyd, who's notoriously a decent referee.
Normally one of the better ones.
FIM standard referee, and Doyley's up and walking back, which is always good to see. So Birmingham will have an opportunity of another heat advantage here, but in the age-old rule of Speedway, Danny King will probably make the trap in the rerun.
I was going to say, the rerun is never the same as the original, is it?
Doyle
never.
Just grabbed too much grip, did really well not to clean Jepsen Jensen out then, to be honest. Shows the skill of Doyle to get that front wheel over MJJ's back wheel.
Massively.
And I'd expect, he just grabbed some grip and that was all she wrote. It should be a 3-rider rerun with Doyle excluded, but you never do know in Speedway.
Especially with these British Speedway referees. The less said about them, the better.
MJJ having a little chin wag with Anti-Vulas.
You say, look, Antivirus, if the ref's got this right, you're going to get at least a point. You could afford to have Mackey's chips on the way home after this.
I had that Monday on the way back from Birmingham last week. 3 large fries, bloody beautiful. Bit late to eat them, but they were bloody lovely.
Yeah, that's nothing having a Mackey's after a Speedway meeting, right? My next door neighbour, I kid you not, had a massive takeaway order go to its house at 2 o'clock this morning.
MJJ giving some advice to Anti-Vulas. 2 o'clock, eh? I thought the Mackies we had after WWE in November was late.
That was something, wasn't it?
It certainly was. 3 cheeseburgers followed by 3 Kinder Buenos was not a good idea for me, especially considering I was ill for a week after it. Anti-Vulas has got such a strange bike because his mudguard almost looks like an upright.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? A reminder of the good old days he was.
And Danny King's got everything to gain here, and Michael Jepsen Jensen's got everything to lose because he'd absolutely nailed that start again. As expected, Jason Doyle has been disqualified. Jepsen Jensen off 1, No Rider off 2, Anti-Vulas off 3, Danny King off the outside.
Does Danny King keep his maximum now?
He was absolutely, definitely losing it then. Jepsen Jensen was clear after the first lap. So
Yeah,
if he can get it like that again, he's got some right pace in that engine.
he's the best speedway driver in Poland, you know.
He is. And
The
Antivulas
internet
should
told me.
score, should get a point here. So sometimes you need a bit of good fortune. This might be a little bit for Birmingham, but
Potentially.
at least Doyle is alright. That's the main thing with any speedway crash. You never want to see anyone get hurt.
No, 100%. So the start marshal just bringing them up to tapes. Start marshal up to Ray. The tapes rise fairly evenly. And Michael Jepsen Jensen's made it again. King looking to come up the inside of MJJ. MJJ's just got the right line there. He's just got his back wheel in the dirt, and I can't really see Kingy challenging MJJ now for this antivirus. If he just keeps coasting round and doesn't get lapped, he's going to score a point.
MJJ is so far clear.
Oh, MJJ is a joy to watch around here tonight. He really is, and yeah. At this rate, the Brummies are going to hit 12 points. The comeback is on. But yeah, not sure which lap they're on. 3 or 4. It's
This
one
is
of the
the
two.
last lap now.
This is the last lap. So yeah, big lead here from MJJ, who's certainly putting in probably his best shift in British Speedway.
He's gating now, and other leagues have started as well, so he's getting more bike time, and the confidence is flowing. Because British Speedway notoriously does start earlier than other countries, doesn't it?
My source where I've been getting the race time zone have said Michael Jepsen Jensen's on a different engine as well tonight.
So the result of Heat 6 was a win for the rider in white, Michael Jepsen Jensen. Second in blue, Danny King. And third in yellow, Antivulas. 4-2 to Birmingham this time, and it's now 24 points to 12. Who's out in the next one? Is it Bob and Rue?
Yeah.
Against
Emil and Dan.
Oh,
yes.
Do they put Michael Jepsen Jensen in as a tactical for potentially Hume here? I think you have to play it as soon as you can, and Emil looked poor in his first ride, it's got to be said.
He didn't look great, did he?
Bob staying in. Well, you obviously can't do a tactical in Heat 8, so then where does Chris Adams play it? Who's in 9?
Michael Jepsen Jensen and the antivirus.
It won't be Michael Jepsen Jensen in there then, unless Keenan Rue goes well here and they whack him in there, but they're against, is it Brennan and Ellis?
So yeah, Brennan and Ellis, or Heat 10.
You don't put
Heat 10, you've got Heat 10, you've got Bob and Rue out against Doyley and King, and if Doyley's a little bit shaken up, that's the place to use it.
Paul Wheeler, very good friend of ours, absolute legend. Good evening, gents. Give British Speedway what they want. Damien Drodds to Birmingham.
Yes, bring Damien Drodds back to British Speedway. I'm all for this. I would turn up at Birmingham for that.
Heat number 7, the line-up going off the inside gate in red for the Witches. Emil Syverden off gate 2 in white, Danny and Hume. Gate 3 in blue, Dan Thompson. And off the outside in yellow, Keenan Rue.
Keenan's going to be looking to have a better ride.
He needs to be better than a Heat 3, doesn't he?
Especially around a track that he knows very, very well.
With all due respect to Bob and Dan Thompson here, the riders off the inside and outside, Emil and Keenan, both riders you wouldn't expect in this race to be on 0. Both riders that are on 0.
No, he's not very often. Emil's outside of the first 2 here at Ipswich. So
you've said this to me already this season, but he's not started this season as well as he has previous seasons, has he?
No, I think it was a similar situation last year. He didn't start the season great, and but that is how it is. The tapes has risen, by the way, for 8-7, and Emil's got the lead. Bob's putting in a very good shift here in second, and Daniel Hume here could be a potential spoiler here as he's chased by the rider in blue, which is Dan Thompson. This is going to if Daniel Hume can keep this pulled off, this is going to be a great ride for the middle-aged man. He's only a couple of years younger
Dan's
than
done him.
me.
I think Dan's done him. Not
Daniel
quite.
Hume
He's done him now.
quite wide there, but now Dan's done him at the inside. But Hume's sticky to the outside. Hume looks so uncomfortable around that outside of turns 1 and 2.
He's got a really strange riding style, and he has Bob.
And for all the hope that Bob gives, it's ultimately going to be another 5-1 to Ipswich. And what
Dan Thompson
is
nearly
it?
stacked that though.
Jesus.
Dan Thompson nearly stacked that.
Did Bob get relegated to last there?
Yeah, Keenan Rue passed him. Bob slowed down at the end. It's a shame because he was really on the pace there, and I think if he was a reserve, he'd probably be doing a little bit better. If I'm honest, if I was anti-Vuelas, I'd be a little bit concerned. Heat number 7 was a win for the rider in red, Emil Sarvudanov. Second in blue, Dan Thompson, and third in yellow was Keenan Rue. Despite what the BSN graphic says, Keenan Rue did get past Daniel Hume. 5-1 to Ipswich, makes the progressive scores 29 points to 13. Bob made a beautiful gate again.
He did.
And if points were awarded based on effort, he'd be on a maximum because he's trying his heart out here.
He is, and I think if Daniel just sort of kept the throttle wound up, I'm not saying he definitely would have got around Dan again, but he'd have definitely got that third place, and he is showing that he can mix it with the big boys in the Premiership.
100%, yeah, he didn't have the best of fortunes at Sheffield, but Sheffield's a track, if you don't absolutely nail it, you're going to be made to look poor.
Very much so. This is where it all went wrong for Daniel there. He just got it all wrong on that first and second turn.
With a bit of track riding, shall we hear from Alan from Sheffield and see how Oxford are getting on now?
Alan from Sheffield, how are they getting on, pal?
Good evening, Mr. Daniel. Well, it's last time I left you, we had just had heat number 5, I believe, and the score was 19 points. Was it heat 6? So we'd had heat 6 with the scores at 22 points to 14, and heat 7 we continue the run of 3-3 with a win for Josh Pickering. Charles Wright in second, Peter Kilderman third. That race was ran twice because Lewis Kerr clipped Peter Kilderman's wheel and came down. Brought down Peter Kilderman and got himself excluded. And it was rerun with a 3 each, making the score on the door 25 to Sheffield, 17 to Oxford after 7 heats.
Cheers out.
Thanks, Al.
No problem.
We are hearing from Bob at the minute. Obviously, we can't listen to it because of copyright, but I'd be interested to see what he said. And if I was the Birmingham promotion, I'd seriously be looking at potentially bringing him in at reserve, if I'm honest.
Yeah, 100%. Shall we have a minute while they're having a minute?
Can do, Mush. We'll be back as soon as these start. And we are back. Palmer's gone to the loo just as we're getting ready for Heat 8.
Sort of second string.
It's an interesting looking race, this. Hopefully Palmer will be back from having a wee before we start. If not, then then he's not. It's the 2 and
Right,
7.
I'm back.
Palmer's back from the dead. It's the 2 and 7 versus the 2 and 7. Danny King and Jordan Jenkins versus Jonas Jepperson and Jason Edwards. Full lineup: Jordan Jenkins goes off gate 1 in blue, Jason Edwards gate 2 in yellow, Danny King gate 3 in red, and Jonas Jepperson off the outside in white. It just doesn't get any easy for Birmingham.
So the tape rides away they go. Jordan Jenkins there, off gate number 1, had a bit of a nibble, but he's
Reds
still...
are on. Reds are on.
Reds are on. That's probably the right call there.
That's absolutely the right call there.
Did Jordan touch him?
I'd be interested. They're being called straight back up, so give us this view. He definitely moved. No, he's just avoided it. Very close though. And it was the Craig Ackroyd that gave it the opportunity, and Jordan Jenkins was in second place at that point, so absolutely the right call. Jason Edwards is lucky he didn't go through the tapes. Obviously he can be put off by the rider inside of you when they move. And now Jordan Jenkins is on a warning for the rest of the meeting. Craig Ackroyd gave it the opportunity.
Probably, is the right, the white call.
So same 4 riders again with a warning to the rider in blue, Jordan Jenkins, to sit still at the start. And Ipswich were away on a 5-1, but obviously it was a bit unsatisfactory with Jordan moving. Needs to sit still now, because if he twitches again, he will be disqualified. Although when you can bring in Dan Thompson, it's not the worst thing in the world, is it really?
No.
The issue is, where do Birmingham do a tactical? Because other than MJJ, nobody's doing anything.
No. Jepson Jensen's literally carrying the
Of Birmingham's 13 points, Jepson Jensen has scored half himself.
Exactly. So, heat number 8 then, Start Marshall walks away, we'll try again. And that was a perfect start from all 4 riders, but again it's the Ipswich boys that get to the first corner first, and these Ipswich boys are now just racing each other. Birmingham boys are racing each other towards the rear of the field, although the rider in blue there, Jonas Jepperson, trying the outside run to see if it'll give him any... I don't know what the word is. If it'll cut Jordan Jenkins' lead down, and he's trying his heart out. Is Jonas Jepperson? Jason Edwards is now a million miles at the back. Jepperson looks very slow here.
He had to shut off there, otherwise he was about to wipe Jordan out.
But the Ipswich lead is only going to be extended. Danny King's gone. He's away. He's checked out. He can go get an hot dog. In fact, well, for second, he's still on. Jordan Jenkins just holding the right line over Jonas Jepperson here. Jordan goes right. Jepperson up the inside there, but Jenkins have got a good race between them two.
Jepperson will never work harder for 1 point.
For 1 point.
Yeah, he definitely had the speed. There was one lap where he was just about to pass and he had to shut off. JJ's just screwed it on and he's literally got it by half a wheel.
Half a front wheel.
So there is positive signs. Jonas Jepperson, Michael Jepson Jensen, who I think is out in this race actually. Who is in this one?
Heat 9. Adam Ellis, Tom Brennan, Michael Jepson Jensen, Antti Vulas.
Tobias Musalek is replacing Antti Vulas as a tactical substitute in yellow. Against these two, why have you played a tactical against the unbeaten two?
Oh.
What gates are working at the moment? Is it still 2 and 4?
3's been impressive as well, to be honest. Gate 1's a place you don't really want to be.
3 unbeaten.
But that's where Tom Brennan is at the minute.
3 unbeaten riders in this, and Tobias Musalek, who's failed to score. It's a strange tactical choice, that, for me.
Very strange, that.
I'd have even argued you'd have probably replaced Mushilek maybe in heat number 11. The full result of heat number 8 was a win for the rider in red, Danny King.
Yepson got second then?
I don't think he did. But it's been given as a 4-2. Second in white was Jonas Jepsen, and third in blue Jordan Jenkins. I think JJ's been robbed of a point there, if I'm honest.
I think you're right.
Jepsen's been awarded second for that. The full lineup of heat number 9 going off the inside gate in blue, unbeaten so far. Tom Brennan, gate 2 in white, also unbeaten so far. Michael Jepsen Jensen, gate 3 on a paid maximum from 2 so far in red is Adam Ellis, and off the outside in yellow is Tobias Mushilek as a tactical substitute. I think Craig Ackroyd's got that wrong. I won't complain, but I think he's got it wrong. And I think JJ can be very hard done by there.
100%. Well, let's see how this one goes.
Yeah, I thought that might be a BSN mistake, but I don't think it is. Looking at the scoreline, he has given second to Jonas Jepsen.
Given second to Jepsen there.
And I think he's got it wrong. He's got it wrong. Obviously, referees have transponders. The transponder must have told him something that he couldn't see on the naked eye. Tapes have had enough. They've gone. Jepsen Jensen's like, I'm quick. I ain't that quick. Anybody still in the comments? Ian, Wheeler, anybody? We've got 2 people watching. A little bit of communication in the chat would be nice, just so we can keep filler going. Palmer, over to you.
So heat number 9 now. Tapes rise away. We go to a very good start there from the inside gate from Tom Brennan. And it is MJJ, that man there. That's with him, and MJJ looking to go up the inside there. Not quite worked out. Tobias Mushilek is an absolute disgrace of a human being. He's absolutely taking the piss out of British Speedway. Get him out of this country now. The big unbeaten battle is between Tom Brennan here and MJJ, who it looks like Tom's just about holding it at the current part of time. Adam Ellis looking to go wide to try and put some pressure on MJJ. Tobias Mushilek may as well have just stayed at Premier Inn, just a mile up the road. He is absolutely bloody useless, and it almost gives me throwback as to when Simon Malenko was here. But MJJ is giving Tom Brennan a bit more of a race now. Brennan with a really smart move there to keep MJJ at bay. We've got the last 2 turns coming up now. Brennan's got the lead and it's a 4-2.
Tobias Mushilek's an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment.
It's not great, is it?
And Michael Jepsen Jensen's maximum goes, I'd argue he was quicker than Tom there, but Tom rode a very smart ride to keep him behind.
He did.
And the full result of Heat 9 was a win for the rider in blue, Tom Brennan, second in white, Michael Jepsen Jensen, and third in red, Adam Ellis. Tobias Mushilek done what he's done all night so far, failing to score. Get him out. This is embarrassing. And the 4-2 that Birmingham luckily got in the last one has gone back the other way. Tom made that inside gate work perfectly. Toby tries to harpoon Adam, and Adam's just like, no thank you, off we go. I don't think it was an intentional attempt or anything like that. It was just a hard first turn, but I asked the question again, why was the tactical played in a race against 2 unbeaten riders, and why was Jepsen Jensen not brought in as a tactical for me in probably in 11 for Mushilek, to be honest. And this pairing for Birmingham are worrying me. Daniel's doing really well, but Keenan Rue's not at all.
Yeah, regarding Heat 8, it was a transponder thing. So maybe, I don't know if Jordan has his at the back of his bike and Jonas at the front. But
a lot of riders have them between the handlebars, don't they? There's Danny's.
I thought that's where they had to go.
That's where I thought as well, but We thought it was by half a wheel, unless Jepperson was past him by the time the transponder crossed the line.
Who knows?
This is embarrassing, really embarrassing. Yeah, it's not great. The lineup of E10 going off the inside gate in blue is Danny King, gate 2 in yellow Keenan Rue, gate 3 in red Jason Doyle. Good to see him up and back on his bike. And off the outside in white, Daniel Hume. Keenan Rue's been disappointing so far. I know he's just overcoming food poisoning, and 3 days after he was going to be out his back, and maybe he's not quite at 100%, but he did 3 years here or 2 years here, whatever it was. He should be performing better than this.
100%. Yeah, this is total annihilation. This from Ipswich, and you look down the race card, and other than Heat 13 now, when MJJ's back out, you struggle to see where Birmingham are going to get any form of heat advantage.
I could see Jepperson maybe getting another point, maybe here or there, but he's done his job. 4 points. He's achieved his average. MJJ's been fantastic. The reserves points as well, though. 6 points for Jordan Jenkins and paid 6 for Dan Thompson from 2. 1 for Antivulas and 2 for Jason Edwards. It's done at reserve again, isn't it?
Pretty much. Anyways, the tapes rise for heat number 10, and it's the 2 Ipswich boys that get to that first corner first. Jason Doyle don't pick up speed and scare us again. Then it's just going to be another routine 5-1 here. This has got to be very, very painful for Birmingham or neutral supporters. I mean, this isn't the most spectacle of a meeting, and this is, from the words of an Ipswich supporter to an
Keenan's
extent.
a bit faster, a little bit quicker in this one, but
He looks faster this time. That's always a start.
Bob's tailed off.
Nobody's catching Doyley up the front. We've got 1 lap left to go, and as much as Keenan looks faster, he doesn't look anywhere near like putting any pressure on Danny King. And it's another 5-1.
Bob, he's unlucky for him there, isn't it? And Danny King, on the average he was on, everyone questioned why Ipswich stood by him, and it's been validated for Ipswich because he's been phenomenal this season so far.
I remember I said to Kez when Danny King got announced by Ipswich, I said he won't be a bad signing like he has been the past couple of years. He's not going to be in a heat leader position.
And the result of heat number 10 was a win for the rider in red Jason Doyle, 2nd in blue Danny King, and 3rd in yellow Keenan Rue. 5-1 to Ipswich, 42 points to 18 is the progressive score. Keenan just got pincered, Doyley comes across and Danny King moves out. There's no way you can go there, and his race was ran before we even got to the first turn.
Pretty much.
And Doyley, that crash, he'd have either come back out feeling the effects, and nervy, or he'd have came back out and done that. You can either go one of 2 ways, Kyle.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's certainly just one of the meetings to forget for Birmingham. I know Ipswich have been absolutely dominant on.
I just
home
think
shale
Ipswich has
this
been
year,
fantastic. I think it's what answer do you have for this? You know what I mean? They're fantastic, and some of Birmingham's riders are letting them down, but I don't think that takes anything away from how good Ipswich have looked either. To be honest. And if this was the first time this had happened this season, you could say, Birmingham are crap, but they've hit 60 points both home meetings they've had this year, so this is a regular occurrence. So there's no shame in this, I don't think, for Birmingham, to be honest. Ipswich have wrapped up the aggregate league point already with 10 heats gone on, 89 points to 61.
And if you just get 1-3-3 and the rest of 5-1s to Ipswich, Birmingham become the highest scoring visitors to Ipswich this
Heat
year.
11 going off the inside gate in white, Tobias Muslek, gate 2 in red Emil Seivudenov, gate 3 in yellow Jonas Jepsen, and off the outside in blue Dan Thompson. I don't see where the points are going to come from Birmingham here either, if I'm being brutally honest. And I do think this is the point where, you know, questions need to be asked of some riders. It's not lack of effort for Toby or anything like that, but it's just not working out either. It's just not happening.
Just not. It's been a move that hasn't worked out, has it?
He looks a shadow of the rider that was at Sheffield for 2 years prior to moving to Kings Lynn.
100%.
He was an out-and-out number one there, and he's you know, everybody in the Brummies team apart from him has scored at least a point.
It begs the question: if Tobias Musuliak was riding for Sheffield, would he be this bad when he had another couple of tapes have gone again? When,
Jonas Jepperson's thinking, have I got to look up here for him? Where'd they gone? I like Jepperson's helmet. It's yellow and red. It's Brummies colours.
Maybe he's done that special. But the start marshal walks away for heat number 11. The tapes up. Away we go. Emil's got to the first bend first, but the two Birmingham Brummies there settling in the second and third positions with Dan Thompson currently towards the rear of the field. And this is a ride more like it from Tobias Musuliak at the current point of time. Obviously, everything can change.
And they're racing each other. Get it under control, boys.
Yeah, as you could hear Dill say there, the Birmingham lads are just racing each other up. Dan Thompson's closing in now on Jepson. Jepson's got to ride a really smart race because obviously Dan knows every inch of this track. Tobias is there in second, so he's going to score some points. And as we go into the third lap now, it's a big battle at the back. It's the last lap. Sorry, it's very, very close now between Dan and Jonas Jepperson, but I think they've done enough there to claim the 3-all.
Jepson had to slam the anchors on there because Toby was that slow in front of him. Jepson had to slow down to let Toby clear off so that he could get a bit of fresh air. That's why Dan got so close at the end. No, it's not ideal. Heat 11 was a win for the rider in red. Bounced back well after his last place in his first ride. Emil Saivudinov, second in white, Tobias Musuliak, and third in yellow, Jonas Jepsen. Points divided 3 apiece. Ipswich hit 45 and wrap up the win on the night, not that it was ever in doubt, and Birmingham 21. And who did this start? I think Dan's missed it off 4. The Brummies boys gated well. Toby was level with Emil. Emil just got that little bit of extra drive. Smart. Tobias moved out wide, and Jonas Jepsen came in to cover Dan Thompson's inside move. That was definitely a move that had been planned in the pits.
100%.
And for me, Jonas Jepsen's been, other than Michael Jepsen Jensen, which you'd maybe expect, Jonas Jepsen's been the Brummie of the meeting. Do you want to quickly run us through the scorers as far, and then we'll switch to
the current individual scorers: Jason Doyle 5+1, Donny King 10+1, Adam Ellis 5 and 2, Tom Brennan 9, I'm also filling off 6, Dan Thompson 4 and 2, Jordan Jenkins 6. For Birmingham, Tobias Musuliak 2, Jonas Jepsen 5 and 1, Daniel Hume 1, Keenan Rue 2, Michael Jepsen 8, Anthony Dulas 1, Jason Edwards 2.
And barring
Alan from Sheffield.
Barring any 5-0s, Birmingham are going to be the best visiting team, like you say here, so that's something.
If it's 5-1s, a match for 65-25. The 4-2 to Birmingham, and you'll be or a 4-2 to.
Or a 3-all. Another 3-all, I'd take another.
Another 3-all.
I'll take that. I don't want to get greedy now. Anyway, over to Alan.
Over to Al from Sheffield.
Thank you. Well, so the scores were 25-17 to Sheffield after 7. Heat 8. So Leon Flint won heat number 8.
Of course he did.
With Eric Risson second and Anders Rowan third. A 4-2 made the score 29 to Sheffield, 19 to Oxford. Heat 9 is where things took a surprising turn. Rowan Tungate came in for Francis Goose. And Oxford took a 5-1 over Sheffield, with Rowan Tungate winning heat number 9, Matt Sianowski in second, and Chris Holder in third. That 1-5 made the score 30 to Sheffield, 24 to Oxford. Number 10 was won by Jack Holder, with Charles Wright in second and Anders Rowe in third. That 4-2 making the score 34 to 26 after 10. And heat number 11 was won by Louis Kerr, with Rowan Tungate in second and Josh Pickering in third, with Eric Rest retiring. So another 4-2 to Sheffield, pretty much cancels out the 5-1. Makes the score 38 to Sheffield Tigers, 28 to the Oxford Spires after 11 heats.
Palmer, who's this fella? He looks really familiar.
I believe, if the big group chat's to go by, it's Max Dilger.
Ah, he does look familiar. We'll have Alan in again a little bit later on. We will be covering, actually, Palmer, what's the thing they're doing after this? I think BSN are showing that, aren't they?
The memorial for Billy Saunders. And basically, it involves riders from each team over 2 little semi-final races and a grand final race. It's a nice little thing that they do for one of their own.
Honestly, right, I wouldn't even. I'd just. All of the Ipswich boys and Michael Epson Jensen, I'd just do that. There's your 8 riders. But I think it's top 4 scorers from each team, but no, I wouldn't bother. I'd just give it all the Ipswich boys plus Michael Epson Jensen. And I think BSN are showing that, so if they are, we'll cover it.
I'm sure I'd seen somewhere where they said there was.
And it's only 3 extra races, the Billy Saunders Memorial, so we'll cover that as well. The racing's got a little bit better. There is a secondary line starting to appear now. The quicker line, I'd argue, is probably still that mid-track line, but the inside is working as long as you pin it really tight.
Yeah, 100%. Apologies, I've had a really long day and I'm a little bit tired. But
It's been me
yeah.
on now.
Sorry,
No problem.
we're just really old men.
You speak for yourself. I'm still a spring chicken.
But yeah, that was I was going to have a quick see if anyone's come on the YouTube. Well, hello, Charlotte.
Charlotte's talking to Tom Brennan in the Ipswich pits. Fantastic tonight. And you talked about Danny King not having a maximum for 10 years in the top league. He's nearly gone back-to-back home meetings with one because he's only dropped 1 point to Michael Jepsen Jensen in his second ride.
Exactly. He's done all right as Danny King this season. Ian Sabin has commented, "This is embarrassing, boys. Really embarrassing," and it is.
Yeah, it's not.
It is.
It's not ideal, is it? If anyone's in the comments, give us some feedback or some. We've got 5 viewers, Mush. One of them's you now, isn't it?
5.
You give us some feedback. Give us your thoughts. Oxford are running Sheffield a bit closer than I think anyone expected.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, I know I for sure expected it to be a demolition job at Sheffield, and they're doing all right.
A little bit of track work at Ipswich. I think they're taking their interval now. It's all gone a bit calm. The crowd's not the best. I think everybody expected this to be a trouncing, and so it's proving. Yeah, people can take the piss out of Birmingham, but they're still going to score more points here than Bellevue got.
Yes, they are. Nobody likes Bellevue.
All the Bellevue fans will be giving it big guns about that. About are you losing, blah blah, but still scored more points than they did. Matthew
Exactly.
Peacock, up mush.
My mate Matty from Redcar. I'm hoping to see you tomorrow, my old Trident, but I can't guarantee anything. I'll just have to make a decision in the morning because nobody's going up from Scunny in the car. But good evening to you there, good sir.
Here's a good opportunity actually, whilst Jason Harold speaks to Jason Edwards, to to put our little advert up. Palmer, do you want to do your best selling oil to the Audis at Saudi attempt?
Ring-a-ding-a-ding, Saudi people. No, so we are looking obviously to expand our portfolio, and we want to help more clubs and riders and everything involved in speedway. We can do graphic design, we can do social media management. You'll get mentioned on YouTube and a lot. So if you're interested, as you can see on the graphic on the screen, there's some contact details on how to get hold of us. Or obviously you can message us. You can message either of us privately as well. We will get back to you potentially within 24 working days.
Sometime within this side of Christmas.
Yeah.
And do you want to quickly run through when our next watch along will be as well while we're here?
Believe,
If
unless
if it's
things
being shown,
change,
if it's being shown, the weather
I'd,
looks fine.
I'd,
So
I'd be very surprised if it wasn't.
yeah,
But
I agree.
from what I understand, our next watch along will be next Thursday, a week today, as we are covering the British semi-final from Leicester.
That'll be an interesting meeting. I think they're in an interval at Ipswich. So shall we take a quick breather?
Well, I think we'll bring Alan back in because he says he's got one more heat to give us, and then we'll have a minute. Alan from Sheffield.
Hello, Dan from the studio. Well, Heat 12 didn't go much better for Oxford, and it was won by Leon Flint again. The Heat
Jesus
win for Leon with
Christ.
Chris Holder in second and Charles Wright in third. Another 5-1 to Sheffield, and that makes the score 43 to Sheffield, 29 to Oxford. And Heat 13's also just gone right now, and it's another 5-1 to Sheffield, with Josh Pickering and Jack Holder getting the better of Rowan Tunge and Matt Janowski, make the score 48 to Sheffield, 30 to Oxford after 13 heats.
I mean, at least Oxford have hit 30. That's something.
Fair play, one.
That's
And
impressive.
they should hit at least 32 as well. So they're going the right way about it. Hang on, Palmer. Something Alan's just said there. When were you going to tell me you've got a studio?
I haven't got a studio.
Alan's false accusations from the Scotsman here.
Well, technically you're in a studio, per se.
Alan. Dylan's in his computer room, and I'm in my bedroom. It's hardly a studio, pal.
Look, I
Oh,
was trying to
God.
make it more professional, but,
3 certainties in life: death, taxes, Alan saying something stupid. Oh, and on that note, we'll take a breather.
Back in a bit, chaps. Just like that, we are back.
I'm going to have
Hello,
to
everybody.
You talk for a sec. I'm going to have to refresh this so you can drown out the noise.
Okay,
Time
I'll
to
do
hear
some
the
talking
top
then for a
scorers.
minute while we drown out Ian Brandon's horrible. We're at heat number 12 here at Ipswich, and the score's 45 to 21.
JJ's helmet's really cool. It's got like a tiger-y style design down it. Intriguing. Heat 12 then. It's all over anyway. Riders are riding for pride and points money now. I'll be honest, it looks a difficult race for Birmingham, this one. But who knows? Paul Wheeler with the comment of the night. There's no fixing McNally. Absolutely couldn't agree more. Full lineup of heat 12. Anti-View Lass in gate 1. Adam Ellis gate 2. Danny Hume gate 3. Jordan Jenkins gate 4. Palmer take us away.
So start Marshall and walked away for heat number 12. The tapes right away we go. And Adam Ellis is it the first serve first, although the are currently in second and third at the moment, but Jordan Jenkins looking to come round the outside there with Anti-Viewlass, and big Jordan's done him. It's a great ride here for fourth and third, and JJ's gone. Jay Jordan's fell on his own. Will he do what Toby did and clear the track?
Probably.
The race hasn't been stopped yet, so I'd imagine so. And this is going to be a free all. So, barring any form of mechanical failures for both Birmingham boys, you're going to match what Bellevue scored, and you're almost definitely going to beat what Oxford got. So, you know, there is a positive to take from this if you're a Birmingham supporter. But Adam Ellis is absolutely flying. This is the Adam Ellis we all love to see. And Adam Ellis is going to take the easiest win he will ever get in his life. Fair play to the young man. And Bob got a nice 2 points.
I'm absolutely buzzing for Danyon, to be honest. He's done really well there. He looked quick, he gated well. Anti-Viewlass weren't too shabby either. He put enough pressure on JJ to make it difficult. JJ just fell trying to go around the outside. He did remount to finish the race. And Adam Ellis drops just 1 point from his programme rides as well. Full result of heat number 12 as a win for the rider in red, Adam Ellis. Second in white, Danyon Hume, and third in yellow, Anti-Viewlass. Points divided 3 apiece, and it's now 48 to Ipswich, 24 to Birmingham. Honestly, if I were Birmingham, I'd be on the phone to Danyon Hume. I'd be offering him a reserve spot, because he's looked fantastic tonight for me in a position that, let's be honest, he shouldn't be riding in.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and he does ride Birmingham really well, so you'd have a very good home track rider there. And if Nigel Tully's there, I would be writing a contract on some paper now.
I think he's more than done himself justice here, to be honest. Yeah, JJ goes on his own. I don't think he's looking for anything either. I think he just ran out of room. It's one of them things. It's a bit of bad
Just
luck.
one of those things.
Big Heat 13 here, and Doyley and Emil have looked impeccable after a tough opening ride, certainly for Emil, and a fall for Doyley. Yeps and Jensen's look solid, dropping just a 1 point, and Tobias Muslek got a second last time out, so hopefully he can breed a little bit of confidence from that. Doyley's off that unfavoured gate 1, although gate 4 does tend to go off later in the meeting, and that's where Michael Yeps and Jensen is. So the full lineup: gate 1 in red for the Witches, Jason Doyle. Gate 2 in white for the Brummies is Tobias Muslek. Gate 3 in blue for the Witches, Emil Saivudanov. And off the outside in yellow for the Brummies is Michael Yeps and Jensen. Doyley on 5+1 from the 2 races is finished. He's on a maximum. Toby looked a bit better last time out. Emil's won his last 2 after failing to score on his first one, and Michael Yeps and Jensen dropped his first point of the night against Tom Brennan in his last outing. And breathe.
That he did, yeah. Please keep breathing. Don't die on the stream, much.
Don't want to die. I don't want to die anyway. Yeah, me and you do these watch-alongs. Imagine Alan here all the time. No offence, Al. And I am a little bit worried for Birmingham now. Obviously, as we know, notoriously, Gate 4 goes off at Ipswich through the meeting, and as it does most tracks, you know, it gets ridden over all night.
Yeah, 100%.
But if anyone can beat this Ipswich pairing, it is MJJ based on the speed he's had tonight.
Oh yeah, 100%. So the Star Marshal then getting the boys into order for race number 13 of this evening's Premiership clash. And tapes right where we go, and it's a very good start there from Jason Doyle off the inside gate there, and Emma's up there with him. Toby though looking to go round the outside, MJJ looking to go up the inside. This is a decent race we've got on our hands at the moment.
MJJ's over the white line. I think he's put both wheels over.
What a muppet!
It was all over that grass on the 3rd and 4th turn.
I think he was, yeah. Does somebody want to tell him this is speedway, not grass track?
I'll reiterate my point. Mooselek's nowhere near. This is embarrassing for all concerned.
Ian, you heard Tobias Music, that's going to be gifted a point because MJJ decided to go grass tracking.
I do think MJJ will be disqualified after the race. I swear to God he was over that line.
I'm sure, well, we'll see on the replay in probably just about a minute or so's time. Was Ipswich take another 5-1. Birmingham's got 25, so you're going to be the highest scoring visitors at Ipswich this season.
I'm really worried. I don't make a difference, but I think MJJ is going to be excluded there. It looked, certainly on first look, it looked like he was over the. It was grass tracking, to be honest. Referees let the result stand. It was a win for the rider in red, Jason Doyle. Second in blue, Emil Sarvudinov. And third in yellow, Michael Jepsen-Jensen. 5-1 to Ipswich, 53-25. The progressive scores. Michael Jepsen-Jensen, to be fair to him, was off the difficult gate 4 then. Didn't make a good start at all, and Ipswich had that first turn nifty. I'd have rather MJJ been off gate 2 then, if I'm honest. Might have stood half a chance. I want to see this turn 4 again.
We'll see it now. Oh, was it the lap after? No, it was this lap.
Oh, he's just kept it on the track.
Yes.
Just kept it on the track.
Fair play.
That doesn't really put too much of a downer on his night. I know it's just been 5-1, but he's been fantastic tonight. It's that simple.
Michael Jepsen-Jensen and Jonas Jepsen, the only two Birmingham riders that haven't run place.
Heat 14, the only other question to be asked is can Tom Brennan complete a 4-ride maximum? The lineup of heat number 14, going off the inside gate in white for the Brummies, Keenan Rue. Gate 2 in blue is Dan Thompson. Gate 3 in yellow, Jason Edwards. And off the outside in red, Tom Brennan. Michael Jepsen-Jensen struggled from that outside gate then, but Keenan Rue's looked a shadow of himself tonight.
Massively.
And I think the two for Birmingham for 15 sort of write themselves in.
They write themselves, don't you? You've had two riders that haven't run the last place.
And one of them will almost certainly run the last place in that ye of little faith or ye of realisticness.
Well, yeah, it's one of them, isn't it?
Jason Edwards has been okay. Couple of third places and a last.
For sure. One of them, just one of them nights in it for Birmingham, but I think everybody that comes to Ipswich this year are going to have one of them nights.
100%, yeah.
That matter what's away for 8-14, tapes rise away we go. Brennan's got it absolutely wrong, but Dan Thompson's got it absolutely right. Brennan's going round the outside.
Dan Thompson's just trying to fence Brennan. Oh, God.
I don't think they're going to be having friendly words in the pits after this one. So Tom Brennan's now got it all to do against Keenan Rue, who actually finally now looks like he's actually seen the place before tonight. But this is a solid ride from Dan Thompson out in the front position here. And, yeah, can Tom Brennan get his max? At the minute, it's not looking likely, although the line is moving further and further towards the outside. So we've got one lot left to go now of this heat number 14, and it's going to be a 4-2 to the Ipswich Witches, and Dan Thompson carrying on his fine form this season.
That was purely accidental on Dan's part. He saw Keenan Rue, who was putting pressure on. He did Tom no favours, but hopefully Tom will know that he was trying to block off from Keenan. Tom acknowledges him. There's nothing there. Dan was just trying to block off Keenan's attack, and so the result of Heat 14 was a win for the rider in blue, Dan Thompson. Second in white, Keenan Rue, and third in red, Tom Brennan. makes the progressive. That was a 4-2 to Ipswich, makes the progressive scores 57-27. A 3-all in 15 would make Birmingham get to 30 points. Tom made an absolute mare of that. He just snaked. Dan just saw a rider coming. He was just taking his line, to be honest. Actually, it weren't actually that close. Tom shut off. Tom shut off a bit earlier because Dan had closed the door to stop Keane and Rue coming round. And while we wait for the lineup of 15 out, you got anything for us from Sheffield?
Yes, I do. We've actually finished at Sheffield. Heat number 14 was a 5-1 to Sheffield, with Lewis Kerr taking the win and Justin Sedgman in second and Peter Kildum in third. That made the score 53 points to 31 in favour of Sheffield over Oxford. Heat 15, Oxford got the choice of gates as list. Sheffield had it in Heat 1, and Oxford decided to go off gates 1 and 3, with Matt Zianowski off 1 and Rowan Tungate off 3, with Jack Holder off 2 and Josh Pickening off 4. And that heat went the way of Sheffield with a 4-2, with Jack Holder winning Heat 15, with Rowan Tungate in second, Josh Pickening third, and Matt Zianowski at the back to make the final scores Sheffield Tigers 57, Oxford Spires 33.
Do you want to run us through the individual scorers quickly, and then we'll wrap up from Alan for the night?
Yep. Individual scorers for Sheffield: Jack Holder 13 plus 1, Anders Rowe 5 plus 2, Chris Holder 7 plus 2, Justin Sedgman 4 plus 1, Josh Pickering 11, Lewis Kerr 8 plus 1, and Leon Flint 9. And for Oxford, Rowan Tungate 10, Eric Rest 3 plus 1, Charles Wright 8, Peter Kilderman 2 plus 1, Matt Zianowski 7 plus 2, Francis Goose 1, Colleen 2.
And that'll wrap us up for the night from Alan. I don't know if Alan will be involved next week, obviously with only one meeting taking place, with it being the British semi-final, but we'll probably have him around for something. Danny and Hume having a good chinwag with Chris Louis and Danny King. And Alan will be back at some point.
Yeah, keep an eye on our Facebook page for all the details.
See when we have to do our next bout of community service.
Yeah.
Oh, I can turn you up again now. Alan was really loud on mine, so it sounded like he was shouting.
Oh my good God.
What?
You don't,
for fuck's sake. Why? MJJ and Toby are going in for Birmingham. My good lord, what were you, oh good God, in at? Was that what you were doing it at?
Yeah.
Fucking Christ on a bike. And Ipswich get choice of gates as well, so we know for a fact they're going to be off 1 and 3. Chris Adams even has sacrificed Toby off that gate 4, gave MJJ gate 2 to see if he can do a bit of damage from it. Honestly, right, I'd give Danny King and Adam Ellis this heat, heat 15. I think they've both been fantastic. I don't think it will be Adam Ellis. He was chin-wagging just now. Sorry, Danny King was. But
Danny King won it.
I'd have gave it to those two if I'm being honest. It'll probably be Doyley and Emil though, or Adam and Brennan.
Sam Thompson and Jordan Jenkins, maybe.
That'd be nice. I think they've both done well tonight. It's not been as good a performance as it was at Birmingham for them, but I think they've both done solid enough, to be honest. 6 points from JJ, 7 paid, 9 from Dan. Just the one duck on his scorecard in his third ride. A little bit of an handshake from Richie and Chris. Chris did not look like he wanted to do that.
No, he didn't. But Again, one of the meetings. Everybody's going to have one of the meetings at Ipswich this year.
At what point does it become not one of them meetings and it just becomes normal though? Because I do think this will become normal. Ipswich are going to turn Foxhall into a fortress.
They are.
And knowing Speedway, and Tobias Muslek hasn't become a bad rider overnight. He's more than capable, and he's more interested in doing wheelies down the back straight. He's more than capable of going straight. He's more than capable of going straight out and winning this one now, just to prove a point. It's not through lack of effort. I don't know what's going on, but he's just not clicking. He looks a bit stiff there, dare I say. And it's Tom Brennan and Jason Doyle for Ipswich, so it doesn't get any easier, does he? To be honest. Full line-up, off heat 15, going off the inside gate in red for the Witches. Jason Doyle, gate 2 in white, Michael Jepsen Jensen. Gate 3 in blue is Tom Brennan, and off the outside in yellow, Tobias Muslek. Looking at this, the Birmingham representatives in that Memorial second part meeting will be Jonas Jepsen, Michael Jepsen Jensen, Keenan Rue, and unless he scores in this one, Daniel Hume will take the 4th spot over Tobias Muslek. That's why Toby's in this. He wants in that second half. And knowing Toby, he'd go and bloody win it.
He wants a trophy and some champagne. Or he just wants a drink on the way home.
And we've said it already, but Daniel Hume's done himself absolutely no harm at all, to be honest. Ipswich won't make changes, obviously. You wouldn't change a winning team, but if an injury came along and Bob was still free, he certainly wouldn't be the worst of potentials.
No, 100%.
For the final time tonight of this meeting, at least. Palmer, do you want to take us away, son?
Start marshal the motorway 4, heat number 15, tapes rise, away we go. And Doyle has got to the first turn first. But MJJ looking to go really fast, and Muslek now at the inside of MJJ. Muslek looking to prove a point here, and Tom Brennan struggling towards the rear of the field in this one, but Doyle is leading like an absolute. You could see why he was a world champion. Tom struggling at the back. Muslek wants his place in the Billy Saunders Memorial. So, and it looks very much like he's going to get that. It looks like Birmingham are going to hit 30 out, and I don't, barring a couple of performances, I don't think Birmingham can be too disgraced over this, to be honest. So fair play to the Brummies for doing a lot better than what many people, including myself, expected. And Jason Doyle pulls an absolute pathetic wheelie over the line.
And Tobias Muslek will get into that meeting off of the bonus point gained in that race. Smart first turn by the Brummies, crowded Tom Brennan out of it. And it is 60-30. So people can laugh at Birmingham, but they've gone there and took 30 points, which is more than two teams have done this year.
Yeah, they've done better than what Bellevue did.
Two teams combined have only gone there and took 48 points, so...
Exactly, you've not done bad.
Little victories and all that.
Yeah, you know how it is. So, a little bit of track grading while we sort things out for the Billy Saunders Memorial thing.
And we'll quickly run through the individual scorers in a moment. If Palmer, if you want to do the Ipswich team, and I'll do the Brummies.
I'll just do some adding up then. So for the Witches, Jason Doyle, top scores with 11 plus 1. Danny King, 10 plus 1. Adam Ellis, 8 and 1. Tom Brennan, 10. Emil Saifutin off 8 and 1. Dan Thompson, 7 and 2. Jordan Jenkins, 6.
Can I not count? What did Tom get?
10.
Adam Ellis got 8+2, didn't he? Him and Tom got 5-1s in their first 2
I've got 8
races.
and 2. That's my bad.
And for Birmingham, Tobias Muslek 3+1, Jonas Jepsen 5+1, Daniel Hume 3, Keenan Rue 4, Mogli Jepsen Jensen 11, Antti Vulas 2 and 1, and Jason Edwards 2. This sounds harsh because he's not had a bad night, but for me, if I were in charge, that would have been Antti Vulas' last meeting for Birmingham.
I'd expect so.
I don't think it will be, but for my money, it should be.
It should be, definitely.
He's just not doing the job at all. Good to see Doyley, okay, that was a really awkward crash for him earlier, so to come out and go unbeaten after it, perhaps he took that for him to wake up.
Possibly. There looks to be a decent crowd in there at Ipswich as well tonight.
Yeah. Chris Lewis having a chinwag with Jason Harold. Al, what did you think of it, Mush? We might as well use you again for another minute or two while we've got some time.
Yeah, thought the racing wasn't too bad from both sides. I think Birmingham actually did better than I think some people were expecting. Ipswich just too good at home, and I think it showed given the 60 points they scored, and yeah, fair play to them.
I don't think many teams will go there and take 30, 35, 40 points from Ipswich not riding like this.
No,
it's remarkable.
I think they would. I think maybe Sheffield.
I don't even think Sheffield will. I think Sheffield will get smashed there as well.
Think so?
Yeah. Sheffield are good round their own track, but can they go to a tight Vauxhall and do what they can do at Sheffield?
And Sheffield are notoriously crap around Ipswich.
Yeah, they are, yeah. Some of the Sheffield boys used to struggle at Wolves, and they're similar shapes and they're tight corners.
100%.
So I think everyone will go to Ipswich and get smashed. And you know, Bellevue reigning champions, but that's going to take some real shit for someone to go and lose by more than they did. Oxford are worse than Bellevue, Birmingham are worse than Bellevue, both scored more than Bellevue did on that night.
Exactly.
That'll be a history-making result this season. I think I can't see it being beaten anywhere. And they'll say, oh, it was only the knockout cup, it don't matter, blah, blah, blah. It's still an official result registered.
It's still a meeting, isn't it?
So, yeah. Thanks, Al. We'll have you back in next time. And we get to watch 3 extra races, which we will do commentary on, because we may as well. And then we'll wrap up for the night before we're back next Thursday for the British Semi, as long as Leicester stream it, which I'd imagine they will.
I'd expect them to.
And I hope BSN are showing it anyway. I never checked if they were or not. To be
Not
honest.
in the BSN schedule, but I would expect it to be a part of Leicester's.
I mean, this meeting coming, these 3 races now. Jason Harold's just talking, so I hope he's not wrapping us up. Because if he is, he's wrapping shoots and shout up as well.
I'm sure Ian Brannan said there was covering these 3 races.
It'd be nice if they did. Jason Harold's turned his programme over.
That's always a start.
They are covering it, yeah, because we've gone back to the track. Although the start marshal's taking the tape. Oh no, they're just putting them back up. They've just done a
Just putting them back. They've done a little bit of track grading, haven't they?
And if my calculations are correct, it'll be Tobias Muslek, Jonas Jepsen, Mogli Jepsen Jensen, and Keenan Rue. And for Ipswich, it'll be Jason Doyle, Danny King, Tom Brennan, and Adam Ellis.
Fair play.
Which is why I'm a little bit surprised Emil Savudinov weren't in 15, to be honest. Imagine.
Maybe Emil did it.
Maybe he didn't want it. But a bit of extra bike time, innit?
Bit of extra bike time. A little check in the back pocket as well.
And let's be honest, I can't see anybody other than an Ipswich rider becoming the memorial winner.
It looks very unlikely, doesn't it, that a Birmingham rider's going to win this.
On the spot then,
event.
who are you going for to win it?
I can't see past Doyley, to be honest.
I'll go different then. I'll go for Michael Jepsen Jensen. Why not?
Oh, Danny King could be in with a shout, but
Daniel Hume is in. Daniel Hume's here.
looking at the group chat, it sounds like Anti Viewlass is in it.
So it's just whoever wanted it.
Just whoever wants it, I think, now in it.
I'd imagine the overseas boys are jetting out. Michael Jepsen Jensen, Toby. So Daniel Hume is in yellow here. Dan Thompson is in white. Danny King is in red. And Anti Viewlass is in blue.
That's...
Full line-up, gate 1 in red is Danny King, gate 2 in blue is Anti Viewlass, gate 3 in white is Dan Thompson, and off the outside in yellow, Daniel Hume. I'd love to see Daniel go through with the first or second here to make the final. I really would love to see that.
It'd be cool, wouldn't it? I can't... Well, you'd probably expect him to get third here at least.
I'd expect it to be an all Ipswich final, to be honest. I'm not going for Michael Jepsen Jensen then.
Well, you never know, he might be in the next one.
I'd imagine the overseas boys are going to want to jet straight out, but you never do know.
Yeah, you'd expect so, to be fair.
Daniel's getting some extra laps though, and that's good for him. Obviously, extra bike time. Still got his Brummies guest top on, even though it's an individual thing now. But yeah, Palmer, do you want to take us away for the first race of the Billy Saunders Memorial?
Oh, go on then. So, heat 1 of the Billy Saunders Memorial about to get underway as Daniel Hume's getting himself into order there. And the start marshal walks away for heat number 1 of this 3-race event, and it takes us away we go. It's a very good start there for the rider in red, which I believe is Danny King, and Dan Thompson's blasted himself round the outside now with the 2 Birmingham boys settling in 3rd and 4th positions. I think that's Anti Viewlass in blue. That's looking like he wants to put Daniel Hume in the fence there, to be honest.
Do you reckon Anti Viewlass has been told that Daniel Hume's having his job?
Possibly. But this is Dan Thompson's race.
Yep, with Danny King.
This in the bag, and Danny King's there in second. So at least half of the final's going to be Ipswich riders. We've got 1 lap left to go. Viewlass looks like he's putting more effort in now than what he did in the meeting, and that's quite a sorry fact.
It's taking a piss.
He's maybe thought, well, I've been sacked now, so I'm going to put a bit of effort in, but still doesn't quite make the final.
For clarification, he's not been sacked, but maybe
we don't think he has.
We don't think he has, yeah. Heat number 1 of this Billy Saunders Memorial was won by the rider in white, Dan Thompson. Second in red was Danny King, and third in white, Anti Viewlass with... Sorry, second in blue was... Sorry, third in blue. Oh, it's all fucking weird. Dan Thompson wins in red, Danny King in yellow second, and Anti Viewlass third in blue. So half of it's Ipswich. I'll be interested to see if Ipswich riders are off 1 and 3 in this one as well. Interesting the Birmingham boys got the 2 unfavoured gates there.
It was certainly interesting, wasn't it? But let's be honest, as soon as these boys got out of the second bend, there was no challenge.
Anti Viewlass and Bob was the battle, weren't it? Bob was trying to go wide. There's not as much out there as there was in his last race in Heat 12.
I thought Bob was going through the fence then.
Yeah, Viewlass didn't leave him a lot of room, did he? And this is Adam Ellis. Tom Brennan's in yellow.
Tom in yellow. So there's my prediction of Jason Doyle out the window.
Tom Brennan rides in yellow. And
Adam
he
Ellis
goes to gate 4, Adam Ellis in blue. Tobias Mushlex in red, and Jason Edwards is in white. So Michael Jepsen Jensen, Keenan Rue and Jonas Jepperson not taking part, and Jason Doyle, Emil Saivudanov, and Jordan Jenkins not taking
Pins.
part.
Yeah.
Surprised to see Toby out. So the full lineup across the tapes. Gate 1 in red is Tobias Muslek. Gate 2 in blue is Adam Ellis. Gate 3 in white is Jason Edwards. And off the outside in yellow is Tom Brennan. Half of the final's going to be Ipswich. I'd imagine the entire final's going to be Ipswich.
Yeah. No disrespect to Tobias and Jason here, but I think Adam and Tom have virtually got this one wrapped up before we've started. I would like to be proven wrong.
It'd be nice to have at least a Brummie in the final. And as we saw in the Ben Fund, Tobias can definitely show up when he wants. We're at Oxford a week on Monday. Hopefully we get that Tobias that day.
Hopefully. So the start marathon walks away for hit number 2 of this Billy
Toby's
Sanders
there!
Memorial.
Of course Toby's there!
Musiac's made the gate there, and
Oh
I don't know this. I think it's a rider in blue that looks like he's going to
crying out
get there
loud.
and we're going to have a rider in the final.
Jesus Christ! Your assistant team manager. Look, Toby looks like he's gone for the card unbeaten now.
You called this to happen as well, didn't you? You called this. Chris Adams must be absolutely fuming.
Sod him, I'm absolutely fuming.
And
what is it that our good friend says? What a penis!
Yeah, what our pal Paul says. What a penis.
Oh my good God!
Yeah. Musiac's going to win this one. Adam Ellis is in second and Tom Brennan third, so it's not going to be an all Ipswich final.
At a canter, he won that as well. Easy as you like. Adam Ellis and Toby acknowledge each other. Knowing Tom from last season, I know what it means when he puts his head down in frustration after crossing the line. And he started well, but he hasn't been great in his last programme ride 15, or that one really. The result of heat number 2 of the Billy Saunders Champion of the Evening. Tobias Muslek was the winner in red. Adam Ellis second in blue, and Jason Edwards is definitely not third. Tom Brennan was third in yellow. Jason Edwards at the back. So the final will be Dan Thompson, Danny King, Tobias Muslek, and Adam Ellis. Toby made a blinder. Brilliant gate.
He made a great gate.
And the line has moved to where Toby would like it now, around the inside.
Yeah, 100%. And
the irony is he called his points tally from the meeting in one race of this. If he wins this final, I'll message Chris Adams personally and ask what the hell he's playing at.
Is that Pete Adams there in the background walking?
Nah, Lawrence.
Ah, sorry. The white hair, they just almost look a little bit similar.
Lawrence and his limp. Quick look over the weekend of Scunny. Scunny ain't got a meeting this week, have they?
We are away at Redcar tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's why you're going down. I just thought you were going to watch Redcar, to be honest.
Nah. Well, if I can obviously go down, then I'll go down. Redcar versus Scunny. And yeah, that's it. And then we haven't got a meeting then till a week on Saturday when we're away at Workington. I love British. Oh,
carry on.
I love British Speedway fixture planning. Let's have one big old double header and then nothing for 3 weeks.
Am I right in thinking that Eurosport starts on Monday as well, or Discovery?
Yes, I do. It's Kingsley in Oxford.
That's another loss coming for Oxford. Adam Ellis is off gate 4 in yellow in this one. He's just put the yellow helmet colour on. I don't know how they've decided this, whether it's a coin toss or pick of straws or something. But Adam Ellis has definitely drawn the short straw with that. And I think you're right, I can't see past Danny King winning this.
Danny King, to be fair, right, he's overdue a little bit of success. And even if it is just a little memorial trophy like this.
And Dan Thompson is in there as well.
Tom Brennan packing his poo up.
Oh, I normally flush.
Tom decided to do it a little bit different.
Tom's taking down his sponsors banner thing, and everything about Tom. And to be fair, a lot of the British youth this year or young British riders have got them banners, haven't they? And I noticed the other night as well at Poole, Tobias Thompson's got one. Their own rider banners. Tom's had a new one done for this year. He has all his sponsors on it, and he has his club's logos on it as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to see some riders being a little bit more professional.
And Tom is one of the most professional riders there is as well. Having known what he's like at Birmingham last year, he put so much money and stuff into his racing.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're just waiting for the final of the Billy Saunders Memorial. It'll be Danny King, Dan Thompson, Tobias Muchalek and Adam Ellis, 3 witches versus a Brummie. Knowing the Brummies, Toby will win this and double his points tally from the meeting in this second half action.
You just know it's going to happen now, don't you?
It's definitely possible. Definitely possible.
If they'd like to cut off Jason Howell, because nobody really wants to see his face or listen to him. If it was Charlotte, it would be a completely different opinion.
And it'll be interesting to see who has what gate. We saw Adam Ellis putting the yellow helmet colour on his helmet, so he'll be off gate 4.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all this one goes.
Tobias Muchalek is off gate 3. Danny King and Dan Thompson have both got the same everything, even down to the same black helmet.
That looks like a very cheap bottle of bubbly. I think that's about £4 in Asda's, that bubbly.
Dan Thompson is off gate 1 in red and Danny King gate 2 in blue. And fair play, the overseas riders have gone out who are riding potentially tomorrow or got to catch flights. I'll give Toby his credit. He's took part in this. He wants to be on his bike. I just wish he'd score a few more points when it counts.
Yeah, for sure. Mind you, Luton Airport is only just short of a 2-hour drive from Ipswich, so it's not a massive drive. But yeah, the final race.
I don't know if Toby's stretching out or whether he keeps holding his back.
Might be both.
Or it might be a superstition thing, who knows. Toby's off gate 4. Oh, isn't it ironic? The one Birmingham rider in the race gets gate 4.
We're just awaiting the arrival of Adam Ellis. I had to get my words out then.
How on earth is that? So we're not doing a GP style. We've got red and blue off 1 and 3, not in that order, and yellow and white off 2 and 4, not in that order. It's an almighty random draw though that the one rider that's not an Ipswich rider is off the worst gate. That's pure luck, I'm sure.
It might be something printed in the meeting programme. Who knows?
It's absolutely nothing to do with the Ipswich promotion fixing it so one of their riders win. I'm certain.
But one of them, it is how it is. But we haven't got longer left, and then
you can have your tea, because I bet you ain't had it yet, have you?
I have. I had it before we come on.
Bloody hell, you feeling okay?
I was hungry.
Full line-up half heat. Number 3 of this Billy Saunders Memorial. Danny King off gate 1 in blue. Adam Ellis gate 2 in yellow. Dan Thompson gate 3 in red. Tobias Muchalek gate 4 in white.
That match walks away before this final, the last race of the afternoon. The tapes rise, away we go. It's a fairly even start there, but it's the rider in blue that is the Ipswich number 2, Danny King, that has the lead. Give it up. The rider in red now has the lead. Believe that Dan Thompson in red.
Dan Thompson.
They all look the same. I can't tell who's who. But yeah, it looks like that's Dan Thompson there right in front, and he has had a
Adam
good
Ellis
couple of
is
seasons.
rodeoing.
What the hell is Adam Ellis doing there, pal? But no, it's good to see a young British rider win a trophy, regardless of which trophy it is, and he's ridden a very solid 3.5 laps. Stream's frozen, but
I bet the race is finished. So
it's not gonna affect the result, though, is it?
Dan Thompson was the winner. Fucking hell, how far behind were we? Second was Danny King, I think, and third Adam Ellis. Do you want to wrap us up for the evening, boss?
So that was Ipswich versus Birmingham with the Billy Saunders Memorial meeting afterwards. He's been Dylan, I've been Dan, Alan's been from Sheffield. And yeah, we'll see you next week.